Hello, my name is Adrienne Huck, and I am a Master of Environmental Management student at Yale School of the Environment. And this summer, I was a fellow at Citizens Campaign for the Environment, or CCE. CCE conducts lobbying, research, and public education and outreach to advance environmental policies in New York and Connecticut. And CCE, over the last 40 years, has successfully advanced campaigns that improve the environment and public health. For some geographic context, CCE is based on Long Island, specifically at Farmingdale, at the edge of Nassau and Suffolk counties. Firstly, I participated in advocacy support. This involved distributing educational literature and collecting signatures in support of offshore wind, which can be a contentious issue on Long Island where there is a vocal minority of anti-winders, so it was valuable to be able to talk face-to-face with people and be able to dispel misinformation about wind power. I also helped manage 5 high school interns from Uniondale High School, assisting them with distributing educational literature to communities about Propel New York Energy, a state-backed project to upgrade electricity transmission systems, and it was really valuable to be able to work with youth. I also conducted phone banking outreach to New York residents in support of 2 bills in particular this legislative session: the Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act, which would establish extended producer responsibility, or EPR, and essentially require manufacturers to reduce their wasteful product packaging and shift to recyclable materials. Also, the Horseshoe Crab Protection Act, which would ban the harvest of horseshoe crabs in New York waters, and it's passed the Senate and Assembly and is awaiting Governor Kathy Hochul's approval. I also conducted research this summer. My main project was to track nitrogen levels in New York's public water supply. So I recorded nitrate and nitrite levels across major water authorities across New York State using publicly available data from 2024. I found that none of these water authorities had passed the EPA's contamination limit for nitrate, but several met that action level. I found that levels on Long Island were significantly higher than communities in the rest of the state. The highest nitrate levels I recorded were found in a water district in Suffolk County at 9.74 milligrams per liter, very close to the contamination limit of 10 milligrams per liter. And I wrote a one-pager synthesizing the public health impacts of excess nitrogen in public water supply. For some other deliverables, I created a promotional flyer for a study we are doing in collaboration with Stony Brook University, where we are going to test 25 households in eastern Long Island who have private wells to test if their water has PFAS contamination in it. We've had an overwhelming response to the study, where 59 people have responded so far, and we look forward to getting more respondents soon. Also part of that study is testing produce from farms in eastern Long Island. I created a data entry spreadsheet and a field notes worksheet to support this study, and we are awaiting lab results from Stony Brook University regarding the PFAS levels recorded in these vegetables. I also designed promotional graphics and made social media posts in support of our Plastic Free July webinar, and also drafted our panelist questions and bios. We had 165 registrants from New York and Connecticut, and I'm also assisting in planning our next documentary screening, which will be at Yale this October, also related to plastic pollution. I also designed a promotional flyer for Long Island's first municipal composting collection program in Patchogue, and an online interest form for that as well. And I'm working on a document summarizing the basics of how to compost and why, and these bullets will be developed into a slideshow and a packet for residents. I also updated our contacts for various congressional representatives, including their staffers who handle environmental issues, their social media handles, and also our local contacts for our county legislators, county and town supervisors, state senators, assembly members, and more. I also created a series of graphics in support of the Horseshoe Crab Protection Act. I created 14 educational graphics about horseshoe crabs targeted towards our specific Facebook group related to horseshoe crabs that has over 200 members. The series has gained over 100 Facebook reactions and has driven nearly 700 views to our page. I also, throughout the summer, have been tracking CCE's mentions in the press. We've been featured in 62 articles and segments over the last 12 weeks and across 29 different news outlets. And I've also helped to redecorate our bulletin boards, highlighting our press accomplishments. I was also happy to participate in several educational outings, such as a tour of ReWorld, a waste-to-energy plant, 3 different press conferences, including a bill signing where I got to meet Governor Hochul, and other meetings including a Environmental Bond Act roundtable, drinking water quality meetings, and coalition meetings with other groups, and the Restore America's Estuaries conference in New York City, where I got to meet up with some dear colleagues in Connecticut and New York working on the Long Island Sound region. I would like to give a big thank you to my supervisor, Maureen Murphy, our executive director, Adrian Esposito, and my colleagues, Christina Lizzo and Jordan Christensen. At CHEDSI, I would like to give a warm thank you to Dr. Dorsita Taylor, also to program managers, Ms. Serena Ivy, and senior fellow Molly, and special thank you to the Freedom Together Foundation for sponsoring my fellowship this summer. Thank you.